Our first option on the list is the Fish Brad Point Bit Kit, or the individuals. The kit coming in at $89, the individuals $5 to $15. These increase from 1/16 up to 1/2 inch, a 64th inch at a time. They sit nicely in a case here that also has a holder built into it so the bits do not slide up and out. Now you buy these for the initial brad point that helps you put a leading edge on, as well as 2 scoring marks. These are incredibly high quality bits, and what you're paying for here is the accuracy of the hole, the clean hole drilled, as well as the brad point itself. We are doing here a comparison between a cheaper DeWalt brad point bit, and we're going to look at both this shaving size coming out, which is a good sign of how sharp something is, as well as the accuracy of the hole, which we will measure using calipers in a minute here. Note the kind of randomness of the DeWalt shavings versus the borderline pencil-like shavings coming from the fish bit, indicating a much sharper leading edge. What we are looking for here is accuracy. In case we're using something like a plug cutter, the DeWalt coming in well oversized, and then the fish bit coming in within 5/1000ths of what we are looking for at 0.25. This kit, going from 1/16 of an inch to a 1/2 inch, provides an excellent way to get exactly the bit size you need for the exact hole, and I think the kit is worth it as a whole, though buying individually is fine too. Up next on the list we have the Freud 4-piece Forstner bit set, coming from 1/4 of an inch to 1 inch, coming in at about $33. Freud is an extremely reputable company, and what these bits allow you to do is create a flat bottom hole, as well as being extremely precise for any through holes needed as well. This is a simple kit which has most of the common imperial sizes that anyone needs. These also have a leading edge just like a brad point bit. They are incredibly sharp and they will handle well in any drill press, and at this size most hand drills as well. Now we're going to test here the 1-inch bit, which is a pretty hefty bit, and we're going to look at the nice shaving sizes here. Always a great way to tell the quality of a Forstner bit is to have almost these pencil sharpener-like shavings. You can see them going in. As long as your drill is at the appropriate speed and you're moving at the appropriate pressure downwards, you're going to get an excellently drilled hole. Now notice the shavings right here. That is an incredibly good sign, and these are not the freshest, newest Forstner bits in the world, which is exactly what we're paying for from a quality brand. Longevity, the flat hole here. Forstner bits do come with that same brad point, so it leaves a slight dimple at the bottom, but that can be filled in with a plug if needed. Up next on the list we have the Freud Thin Curve Rip Blade. Again, from a very reputable company. This features a flat top grind, leaving clean bottoms to the cut. 24 teeth is meant for ripping, and this is great for job site saws or otherwise underpowered saws. Make sure to check that it's a 10-inch, though most common saws in America are 10 inches. Now what we're paying for here is a quicker, cleaner rip. The thin curve allows for the motor to have to do less work. At 24 teeth we get the faster rip as well, and it can do very rough crosscuts. Now part of what we're paying for here is the extra carbide, and after 3 or 4 sharpenings, which you can mail into Freud to do, you will end up saving money, getting closer to the cost of an entirely free blade. Here's an example of going through 1.5-inch poplar, so not the hardest wood in the world, but also not the softest. You can see how quick this is done. This isn't the most powerful saw in the world. In fact, its motor is roughly equivalent to a nicer job site saw, perhaps a little bigger, but it does this in an absolute breeze, which is what we want when we have to do a lot of ripping. And then now we can see the quality of the cut. No blade marks left over. That's exactly what we want out of a ripping blade, and if needed, you could even do a panel glue up from this. Now, if the Freud rip blade is a bit too expensive, something like a Diablo 60-tooth crosscut makes for an excellent gift as well. A lot of people have one, but they put off buying a new one. It gets quite dull. Their crosscuts aren't as clean. So if the Freud's a little too expensive for you, this at about $15 less makes for an excellent gift that is absolutely going to get used in any wood shop. The Gross 4-inch machinist square serves a very specific purpose, and that's to measure exactly 90 degrees at a fixed angle. Gross is a reputable European company, and while this doesn't offer a lot of other features, it provides one very important feature for setting up tools and for checking other things. This is guaranteed to be accurate within 16 nanometers. For example, setting up your table saw fence to 90 degrees is very important for any accurate cutting. It can be used to also set up a bandsaw blade to the table. If your father or anyone you're buying this for has any of these tools, they will absolutely be able to use it. One of the less common but still in enough shop tools, the jointer needs a way to set up the fence to 90 degrees, and this is the perfect tool to be able to do that as well. If you would like to pair this with something of a bonus, this 36-inch straight edge is going to help you get the table flat if it has multiple parts, specifically so that we can have the flat reference surface that we can then reference the square off of. Together in combination, they make for an excellent way to ensure that your tools are set up properly. 36 inches is a great distance, and it comes with a hole to hang on the wall, as well as these nice little rubber feet. So when you inevitably bang it off something, it doesn't damage it or make an incredibly loud noise. Last on our list is going to be a 3-part kit of mineral spirits, some nitrile gloves, and a nice paintbrush for applying finishes. Most woodworkers at some point will use an oil finish. Keeping your hands clean, cleaning the brushes, and having a nice brush to apply the finish properly is very useful. A lot of times these don't get replaced very often. The brushes become frayed, they don't apply well. A lot of times you run out of gloves and you don't want to run to the store to get a new pair. These are a nice way to make sure that your father or whoever you're buying this for has a fresh kit for any time they need to use it. It's incredibly important to use these. Mineral spirits can also be used to give you a sneak peek at the wood or clean off sanding grit between sanding. This is excellent because it helps prevent any scratches from the previous grit from damaging the woods, and you'll see them in the final. Again, mineral spirit availability will depend somewhat on your state, as not every state sells this.